Have you ever watched a YouTube video and noticed something interesting about the comments? Millions of views, but only a tiny fraction of people ever say anything. At first glance, people who never leave comments can seem strange. They consume hours of content, scroll through comment sections, and sometimes even like or dislike videos, yet they never add their own voice. It's easy to assume the silent majority just has less to say or nothing worth adding. But psychology paints a more interesting picture. These people simply think, process, and engage differently. So let's explain the real psychology behind people who never comment on videos. First, observational learning. Many people process information by watching, reading, and internally evaluating rather than by immediately responding. These individuals gain value from understanding others' perspectives, observing different opinions, and considering their own views privately. They're paying attention to the video itself, but also to how others react to it. Commenting doesn't add much to their experience, because their goal isn't to be heard, it's to understand. Second, low impulsivity. Non-commenters tend to have a high threshold for what they consider meaningful contribution. Psychologically, this relates to impulse control. If they don't think their comment adds something new, they'd rather say nothing at all. Many recognize that YouTube comment sections are often repetitive or low impact. Choosing not to comment isn't being shy, it's being selective. Third, internal locus of validation. People who comment frequently may be motivated by social reinforcement, likes, replies, or visibility. Commenting requires turning thoughts into text and committing to a stance. Internally oriented thinkers often prefer to process meaning silently. They reflect. They're often less dependent on external acknowledgement. Their enjoyment of content is internally regulated. They do not need public affirmation to feel validated or rewarded. This points to a more self-contained way of engaging with content, one that doesn't rely on outside reactions. Fourth, avoiding the unnecessary. Comment sections are chaotic, conflicting opinions, arguments, repetition. For many people, this creates unnecessary cognitive load, extra mental effort that adds little value. They watch, take what they want from the video, and leave before it turns into a waste of time. These people are managing attention and emotional energy, not withholding opinions. Fifth, internal satisfaction. Online comments aren't just communication, they're signals. They say, "I'm here, I agree, notice me." Some people feel little drive to announce their presence. The experience itself is enough. Psychology links this to intrinsic motivation. These viewers don't need their reaction to be visible to feel involved. Their engagement is private, not performative. They're comfortable knowing they watched, learned, or felt something, even if nothing proves it. The experience can exist and end without documentation. In conclusion, people who never comment on YouTube aren't passive or disengaged. Their silence usually comes from selectiveness, independence, and a preference for thinking over broadcasting. In a platform built on likes, replies, and reactions, choosing not to speak can actually be a deliberate form of participation. Sometimes saying nothing is exactly the point.